In today's video, I'm super excited to bring you along with me in my kitchen for some dump and go slow cooker recipes. These are extremely healthy and they couldn't get any easier than this. We're also going to be doing some healthy fall baking because that's just what we do here on my channel. Speaking of which, if you're new here, hi there, my name is Jessica, and here on my channel, we focus on all things mom life. So whether that's cooking, cleaning, or finding efficient and effective ways to take care of our families, but everything we do in my space does have a bit of a healthy twist, as I'm a holistic nutritionist and a nutritional practitioner. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, I would love it if you would take 2 seconds, open up the description box down below and hit the big red subscribe button. That way you don't miss a single video. First, I'm gonna show you a quick little Trader Joe's haul. Then I'm gonna grab out the slow cooker. We're gonna get all the ingredients dumped in together. I'm gonna show you how easy and simple these recipes are. So I hope that you enjoy. All right guys, I just got home from Trader Joe's. I got a couple of things that we need for the recipes we're making today. And then the other things are just things I needed around the house. So really quick, I've shown these before on my channel in my last Trader Joe's haul, and I'm still obsessing over these jicama wraps. Even though the weather is getting cooler, I'm putting rotisserie chicken in them. I'm using them a ton of different ways. So anytime I go to Trader Joe's, I always pick these up. Next, I got this organic watermelon jerky. I've never tried it before, but I thought it could be a great snack to have for the kids in their lunchbox or after school. Then I picked up 3 of these dried okras. Sawyer loves these, Ronan loves these. I'd love to have them around the house, so I just picked up 3 of these. Then I picked up some organic shredded kale. I actually need the long like dino kale for the recipe. I typically use it, but Whole Foods didn't have any organic yesterday when I checked, and Trader Joe's doesn't carry it. So I just got this triple washed organic shredded kale. This will do, but I'll show you guys when we get into cooking. The recipe that I typically use the dino kale for, both will work, but my preference is the other one. But we'll see how it turns out with this one. Also, I needed some chives for one of the soups that we're making. And with that soup, I needed some sun-dried tomatoes, which I grabbed these. I like these ones because they're in olive oil, so it adds like a really good flavor to the soup. Then I just needed some yellow onions, so I picked up 2 organic yellow onions. We'll need some organic heavy whipping cream, so I grabbed that. Also for our recipes, we're gonna be needing probably 4 of these sweet potatoes, I would say, based on their size. So I just picked up the big bag of organic ones. Then just as a couple staples, I needed some organic zucchini. I always have this in the house. I typically buy the big, huge bags at Costco, but we didn't go to Costco this weekend, so I just picked up 2 from Trader Joe's. We also needed some more fruit. We have some strawberries and apples, but I needed some raspberries, so I picked up one of these. Also needed some organic cauliflower just to have around the house, so I picked this up. And then I'm absolutely craving figs so much lately, so I did pick these up. They're not organic, but Whole Foods nor Trader Joe's has had organic figs in quite a while, and I've been craving them so bad, so I decided to just grab these ones really quickly at Trader Joe's. So I picked up a pack of that. So that's everything I got at Trader Joe's. I dropped the kids off at school this morning. I quickly ran by there. It is like a gross, gloomy day, as you can see outside. So it's the perfect day to do some dump and go crock pot recipes. So I'm really excited. Let me get this put away, the perishable stuff that we don't need, and the pantry staples. Then we'll jump into the kitchen. I'll get out my slow cooker and we'll get to cooking. We're getting started with a slow cooker chicken, kale, and sweet potato soup. This recipe is such a cinch to throw together. if you have a right vegetable peeler. As you can see here, I was struggling with my old-fashioned vegetable peeler, and then Kaya walked by and reminded me that I had gotten a new one in this 13-in-1 chopper kit from Amazon. So as soon as I got that out, it quickly changed my life. But I'm gonna go ahead and peel all of my sweet potatoes and toss those into the crock pot. This was the recipe I was referring to that I typically use the Dino Kale. However, as I mentioned, Whole Foods nor Trader Joe's had organic, and kale is definitely up there in the dirty dozen. So you always want to ensure that you get organic, especially when you're cooking and using kale. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these sweet potatoes, and I'm just rough chopping them into the same amount of size. I'm gonna toss that into the crock pot because I always like to put the heaviest ingredients on the bottom first. Then we're gonna toss in around 1.5 cups of chopped zucchini. This truly makes the recipe. To be honest with you, I actually prefer it with around 2 to 2.5 cups of zucchini, but I did 1.5 because that's a typical recipe that I like to use whenever I make this, but this is truly one of the hero ingredients. Speaking of hero ingredients, when I used to make this recipe a few years ago, I always made it with chicken breast or chicken thighs, which is definitely delicious. However, these spicy chicken sausages from Costco add such a rich and bold flavor to the soup and to the broth, especially when you're making a crock pot recipe. And because this is a truly dump and go video for you guys, I won't be browning these ahead of time. However, if I am prepared and I know that I'm making this recipe, I do like to chop them and brown them first before I add them into the crock pot, but either way works. But adding the spicy sausages really brings a boldness to this flavor that you won't regret. I'm telling you guys, this is such a fan favorite in my house. It's a huge hit with the whole family, and honestly, it's a great one to make ahead during the holiday season when things get busy. You could make it ahead and put it in the freezer because it does freeze beautifully.
Well, I don't mind to slow down anymore. Don't mind the sound of my shoes on your floor. I don't mind selling out or playing cover song, just as long as friends and family sing along. And I don't need more money or a faster car, no. Don't need a magazine to call me a superstar, no. I'm gonna take this little house and make a home.
I'm not sure about you guys, but there's really not much more comforting foods than a tomato soup, especially if we can really healthify it, which is everything we do here on my channel. So we're going to be throwing together a Crockpot creamy tomato soup, and as you can see here, to get it really creamy, we are using 2 cups of cauliflower. You will not be able to detect this, I promise you. Your husband, your kids, your partner, everybody will love it. And honestly, the cauliflower just adds a wonderful, incredible texture to it, and it does give it that creamy feel. We also will, of course, be using 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup of heavy cream, depending on the size of your crock pot. And all of these ingredients together with your sun-dried tomatoes will have your kitchen smelling amazing in no time.
And how rare it is that I stay up past 12. In the backyard we are going to start a garden. If that don't sound mighty good, I beg your pardon. 'Cause in my heart I hear you speak, and on my face I feel you breathe next to me. Two by land, by air, by sea, and that is how it's supposed to be.
We do typically buy the organic sun-dried tomatoes on Thrive Market, but I was completely out of them from doing some homemade pasta sauce, sun-dried pasta sauce with pumpkin last week, and I didn't realize that we didn't have an extra one in the pantry. And I will say that the Trader Joe's one in olive oil was delicious, but I do always prefer that it is organic. Now, I am using chicken broth because we had an abundance of it from Costco in the pantry. But if you wanted to make this recipe vegetarian, you could definitely use vegetable broth. And likewise, if you want to make this recipe vegan, which I have done many of times, you can use vegetable broth. And then where we use heavy cream, you could either add an extra 1/2 cup of chopped cauliflower, or you could use 1/4 to 1/2 cup of full fat coconut milk.
My heart's been ripped wide open. So many mixed emotions. It's like I finally noticed I've been set free. I've been set free. I spent a lifetime running, fearing what I'd become if I stop playing goalie on all of my thoughts, yeah. Speaking out straight from my heart, but now I see. Oh, I see this love is taking over.
All right, guys, and now into some healthy baking. I have 2 incredible recipes for you guys today that your children will absolutely love. I'm not sure what you're up to for the Halloween festivities, if you're celebrating at home or if you're going to be going out trick-or-treating, but either way, I love to stuff my children before any and all Halloween celebrations. Whether we're going door to door, going to a friend's house, or just celebrating at home, I like to feed them a healthy and nutritious meal along with having some party snacks that they can enjoy that are full of nutrition, vitamins, and minerals. So I'm bringing to you these monster muffins. You've seen these on my channel before. I called them smoothie muffins in the past, and likewise over on Instagram. But here today, we're calling them monster muffins because it is the week before Halloween. So I'm adding in 4 full handfuls of power greens from Costco. But in the previous videos I've shared with you, I've just used spinach. I've used a mix of spinach and kale. So please feel free to use your greens of your choice. Then we're going to be blending all of this together before mixing it with our dry ingredients.
Taking over, breaking through my chest and overflowing with every single beat. It pulls me closer, closer to you.
So obviously the more greens you add, the richer the color will be. And I've shared this hack on Instagram before, but I'm not sure if I've talked about it here. But a great way that I like to combat the potential green flavor or vegetable taste in any baked goods is to add a little bit more vanilla extract. Sometimes I'll even double what my recipe calls for. Likewise with spices, whether it's cinnamon or pumpkin spice, and that way you can cover up that green flavor or the vegetable flavor without necessarily adding any more sweetness. And as you can see here, as I start to mix in the coconut oil, I was actually spilled it all over my sweater. I was trying to pay attention to Sawyer. She was pulling on my leg and I got it all over my sweater. So I power through, I finish cooking and baking these muffins, and then I do change into a different shirt. But these come together so quick and so easy. They're always a huge staple in my freezer. I typically make a triple, sometimes a double batch, and I throw them in the freezer. I'll pop them out before school, sometimes throw them in the toaster oven and have the kids enjoy them in their lunchbox. It's definitely a fan favorite. So I hope that you guys give these ones a try. If you do, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And likewise, if you try any of the recipes from today's video or any of my other videos on my channel, be sure to tag me on Instagram. I love to see your recreations and I always do my best to share them on my stories.
Got a couple broken arrows and my hair is grown since you saw me last, talking on an old flip phone. Today I shared the skin of who I used to.
At this point, our soup has been cooking on low for 4 hours, so I like to take the opportunity to blend everything together and get it really smooth and let it continue to cook for 2 more hours fully blended.
I took a Greyhound down to Georgia, then a rental up to Maine, but how I hope for California.
So while that cooks and our monster muffins cool, we're going to be throwing together a 1-bowl sweet potato pie muffin mix. This is so delicious, and honestly, my kitchen smelled incredible. Between these muffins and the soup, it truly felt like fall. This recipe could not be any easier, as you can tell by the name. You throw everything into one bowl and mix it together. There really is no muss and no fuss, and yet it's full of a ton of nutrition, and honestly, the taste is just incredible. I had used some sweet potatoes that I had already steamed and pureed a few weeks ago. I keep a few of these jars in my freezer, but you could most definitely use canned sweet potato puree. It would make no difference. I've even made these muffins with butternut squash. I've even done half a cup of butternut squash and half a cup of sweet potato puree. All of the times I've recreated them with different ingredients, they've turned out incredible. It's really just using what you have, throwing it together, but mainly it's the dense texture that make these ones so delicious. And honestly, just the overall pumpkin pie flavor, it truly feels like fall and Thanksgiving. So speaking of fall and Thanksgiving, I've shown this pan on my channel now for a little over a year. I did buy it at Williams-Sonoma. It's the Nordic ware. I'm not sure if they still have it, but to be honest with you, it is such a pain to clean. However, you saw the generous amount of coconut oil I put in here, and the more coconut oil you have, the better, because it is easier to remove. And you of course have to wait until your muffins fully cool to try and pop them out. But I will say with the Nordic ware set and all of my copper baking is that they cook evenly and so beautifully. So I do love to bake and cook with copper, and to be honest with you, they're just so darn cute that it makes it worth it. We're just going to celebrate all of the seasons because of course I had batter left over and Sawyer picked out the Christmas mold. So speaking of convenience, silicone molds are incredible because they're so easy to cook with, but they don't cook as evenly, and honestly just copper gives such a better texture and it's so stress-free. But silicone is a breeze to clean and you can definitely pop these out a lot easier. So I like to do a little mix of both. But as you can see, these turned out so cute. The kids love them and the texture is really what sells them. I hope you guys give the Crockpot recipes a try, and definitely the healthy baking. Healthy baking is such a great way to get extra nutrition into your family. And if you do, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and if you liked this video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video, and I hope to see you back here next Thursday.